This is data meeting number 2 for group 4, which includes Abigail and Joseph. So starting with the observed learning gaps that we noticed from the data, rating at 5s for both relative significance and prominence. We have teacher lesson plans, and this is because the teacher is able to change what they are going to teach in that lesson plan based on the data that they observe. So this seemed really significant to learning gaps that were seen in the data. Next is unit plan for the same sort of reason, because as the unit goes on, teachers have the ability to change and make accommodations based on what the students need. And if those needs aren't being met, this seems like something that a teacher could easily review and improve on. Next, we have individual education plans, or IEP, which groups in with limited English proficiency. These two have a huge relative significance and prominence in the classroom because these learning gaps have been identified by a special educator and need to be reviewed consistently by educators to know where the learning gaps are and how to improve on those. Lastly, we have data graphs rated at a 5 because that data is there for the teacher to review and make changes on and see where the learning gaps are. At a 3, we had measurement system analysis, which was the test kind of seeing if you're testing the right things on your kids and identifying learning gaps that way, which we just thought was a little bit less significant than the others because it doesn't have so much to do with instruction. For observed instructional gap, we have at 5s the data table and student work, and that is because that really shows where teachers are kind of missing the mark. If there's a bulk of students scoring lowly on certain areas, that should really tell the teacher, the instructor, that they need to improve on those areas or really emphasize that or go back and revisit those items. And you can see that through the student work and the data table based on scores and whatever is being turned in. Ranked at a 4, we had test items. This is because it shows significance, but there's also always the chance that students don't perform well on tests because of anxiety or a bad day or any number of reasons. And then on a 3, we had the teacher instruction calendar. That's because this is usually set in stone, not set in stone, but usually planned out well before the semester is underway. So this is something that might be changed and something that might be created before the teacher is able to observe those learning gaps. A few questions that our group still had after doing data meeting number 2 would be, are the test questions changing for students on plans? Like, are we seeing accommodations? Are scores being taken into consideration as the plans are made by the teacher? Like, are they modifying plans as they go? And how long did it take to collect all of this data? What was the time frame there? Did they have a lot of time to make changes, make modifications, or was it all over, let's say, a quarter rather than a semester?